the more that I can allow myself that grace and ease to be able to have that time, the faster the product is. So I find that I can write something in an hour or less, sometimes even a half an hour, and it's a good draft. It's not like a bad first draft. It's like an almost right first draft that had I tried to push myself and just start writing before I've gone through that process, it would have taken me 2 hours, 3 hours or more, and I still wouldn't have been happy with the final result.
All right, I'm going to pull up another question, Heather. This one's from Scott Scowcroft. Are there any routines or rituals that we use to kickstart our creative juices?
Oh, that's a good one. And when I'm smart and I allow myself the time space to do this, my ritual is, as I talked earlier about the information dump, I get as much stuff as I can from the client. And so I do this before the percolation time, is I sit down, really relaxed. I try to do it in an environment that doesn't feel stressful. So I might get out of the office, I might do it at home on my couch, whatever's comfy, and I start writing down random stuff. A benefit statement that I think is really good, or something in their marketing materials that I think I can pull from and use, or just notes about the target audience or what they might be thinking about or what their concerns or pain points are. I get that all out on a piece of paper. And then I put it aside. That's when I do my percolation time. And it might be that I don't come back to it for a while. And this is especially important if I'm working on something that I really want to do well virally, or I really want to do well for the client because it's a big deal for them. So I want to make sure that everything's perfect. And once I do that, and so I have the time that I write things down and the time that I let everything kind of pull together, when I come back into it and I start writing, I find that the writing happens very easily. And where a lot of writers, both new ones as well as experienced ones, get stuck is that they'll hit writer's block. And they have the information, but it's so overwhelming for them, they don't know what to do, they're staring at a blank page, they get frustrated, and they start freaking out that they're missing a deadline. So the more that I can allow myself that grace and ease to be able to have that time, the faster the product is. So I find that I can write something in an hour or less, sometimes even a half an hour, and it's a good draft. It's not like a bad first draft. It's like an almost right first draft that had I tried to push myself and just start writing before I've gone through that process, it would have taken me 2 hours, 3 hours or more, and I still wouldn't have been happy with the final result. So that process has been with me for over 20 years now as a writer, and it's always been kind to me. It's always been the way to do it.
Scott, actually my most interesting rituals are the times when I force myself away from it. It might be a wine tasting. It's watching the Patriots play football on Sunday. It's going for a walk. It's but in a different vein, I think the other ritual is just talk to people. Don't put it all on your shoulders to come up with these ideas. Talk to other people. Going out of your way to talk to people who are not worried about what to write, about what matters to them. Because when you do that, it just puts you in this place where the information is coming from a different mind space. And that's almost always the key in my world to, oh, wow, that actually is a good idea. That would be fun to write. And then, boom, it just happens.
People are always really happy to talk about their business. Well, not always. It depends where they're working, but in most cases, especially if you're working with a business owner or someone who's invested, they're excited. And eventually they're going to tell a story that you think, oh my goodness, and there it is. There's the hook. That's what I could write about. And you never would have gotten that with an email response because everyone hates filling out email interviews. They're boring. They take a lot of time. And not everyone is a good enough writer to be able to sit down and have the time to tell these fresh stories that they would be able to talk about on the phone.